All right, welcome back, everybody. I've had an interesting day. I just spent the entire day, about 12 hours, editing 7 videos that technically could have been 8 or 9. When I started the day, I thought I had like 3 videos worth of, footage shot, and turns out as the day went on and I finished a video, I realized I had more and more and more and more. But about halfway through the last video, my game crashed. And when you're on PC, sometimes it happens. Not a big deal, right? Less common on consoles, but on PC, happens a little more frequently. Well, something interesting happened. A lot of my game settings, most of them, but not all, reverted back to like stock. So my audio levels were off. My like money changed. It went back to like I think it was euro or something. My temperature went back to Celsius. Like my miles went to kilometers, and my field of view was changed, like the FOV and stuff. A lot of settings changed, a lot of weird ones and stuff, and I changed some of them back, but I didn't realize all that had changed. So it wasn't until I was editing I realized, hey, there's some problems here. We need to fix some of this. So I've adjusted the audio, and not only that, some of the last couple videos I was filming, I guess when the game crashed, it corrupted some of the files, so I wasn't able to fully like edit those and put them in. But nothing was really missed. It was mostly me doing contracts as usual and talking about the grass here. And I was looking up some stuff. So you see, it says ready to harvest. We have our full growth level, to my understanding. It's fully maxed out. I believe this is the final growth stage, stage 4. What I realized when I planted this, or didn't realize when I planted this, is grass doesn't grow during the winter months. So we didn't get the multiple harvests that I was hoping to get. So it's April now, and if we go to here, I was hoping to put soybeans into this, but we need to put them in this month. But I'm still trying to learn about the grass, because if we harvest the grass now, it should regrow. I believe it takes 1 month to get back to the half yield state and 2 months to get back to the full yield state. So I think we can get potentially, where's grass? We can potentially get 2 or 3 harvests off of this grass this year. And if that's the case, the soybeans will take the full year to. It'll take up our whole like grow season this summer, and we'll make, I think, estimate 200 to 250,000. But if we can make maybe about, no, 100,000 off of this, and if we can get 3 different harvests, we could potentially make way more with silage. We'll have to. I picked up this. Let me sneak over here real quick. Oh, here we go. I picked up this. So this is a mod that allows you to do swathing with tractors, but it also, because I don't have the DLCs on my PC yet, I'm gonna pick them up here in the next day or two. All the DLCs and all the and stuff. So we'll have those things available to us soon. But I don't have them on here yet, so I saw this mod. But it also is supposed to cut grass too, so it's supposed to work like a mower and increase our yield as well. So if we use this to mow the grass and get a higher yield, and then we can go through with the baler. We'll have to rent a baler because we don't have a lot of money, so we'll have to rent a baler and bale it all up, and then we'll have to rent a wrapper and then rent the trailer to pick it all up. Oh my god, the list is getting long, but we'll have to rent everything up and oops, no, I want to get the vulture. Rent those items. So we'll cut the grass. We have the mower to cut the grass, then we'll have to bale it, then we'll have to um, wrap it to turn it to silage, and then move everything off the field, and put it into storage somewhere. I might move the combine temporarily and use that shed as storage for the bales, or we can put it between the house and the garage there and store up all the silage bales and everything. And then those take like 1 or 2 months to ferment, and then when they turn into silage, they'll be worth quite a bit, depending on the size of the bale. Some of the bales are a few thousand liters, and they can sell. I think the silage bales can sell for around 2,000 a piece. We'll get quite a few off of this field. So what I need to do is make sure this is going to work on our field. Our headlands one's fine. Okay. Well, let's get the line active. There's the line. There's the line. Okay. So we got the line active. Let's turn this mower on and let's see if this is going to cut. It is. Perfect. See? So it's already dropping it down. And we'll get a higher yield by using this versus standard mower. So I'm going to mow up this grass. Then we're going to have to get a baler. There's also some baler and wrapper combos. We might go that route, but they typically don't make very big bales, is the issue with that. They're typically the smaller size bales, and with such a large field, we really want to try and get some of the larger bales. Plus, it'll make it easier for us to move them, transport them, store them, sell them if we can do the larger bales. But I think we'll look at the size and what's available to us, and then we'll need to bale all this up, wrap it up, and put it aside until they ferment and we can sell. The only thing is, I don't know if it takes 1 or 2 months to ferment, and we only have this month or next month to potentially plant soybeans. So I might have to just bite the bullet on this one, dedicate this year to grass/silage, and hope it pays off. Just kind of risk it. If not, like, if I tear this up today afterwards, then all those months that we had it over the winter, that we were growing it up and prepping and everything, and we put soybeans down, and soybeans aren't as profitable over the span of plant to harvest time, then potentially we'll be missing out. So we also over the time I was gone, we made a lot of payments on the things that we leased, like this Voltra and the planter and stuff. So I believe next month, May, is the final month of payments. So after next, and I think for what's remaining, we owe, I think the payment's like 62,000. I may need to pull that up real quick and see what last month's payment was, and see. Let me just see what. Okay, 85,000. Shit. In the first few months after I made all, when I had to make those first couple payments, I was like, this was a huge mistake. But as time went on, and I went around and grabbed those collectibles and stuff to get that a little extra scratch, I'm like, nah, this was the right move. The money problems is future me's problem, like, I just want to live in the now. I want to buy what I want to buy, and dealing with the payments and the consequences is future me's problem. So it was worth it. I love my new tractor. I love my new toys. I love the new house. That's another thing. When I was doing some of those edits today, I came to the conclusion I want to do a bit of cleanup around the property, some beautification type stuff, clean up some of these lines, because as I was watching back, I was like, a lot of these lines and stuff kind of bother me, and just having that single ground type is a bit boring, kind of, so I I want to go around and kind of clean up the parking lot, so to speak, change things around a little bit to make it a little nicer. And then I'm also thinking about potentially, I'm gonna look and see what's available, but I wonder if there's a better garage option for us. So I need to look at all the different sheds and garages and see, because I kind of, rushed a little bit. I tried one or two, and then I settled on this one pretty quickly, but let me do this one, and then I'll see what that other line is. But yeah, I don't know if we're utilizing the space we have fully with that garage. Plus, the number one thing that bothered me about it was less the space in the garage, the size of the garage, or anything like that, was I noticed when I had the roof open, it was hard to watch a little bit in some ways. Like having all the roof structure and stuff there. I closed it when it was snowing one day, and I'm kind of glad I did, because it's much nicer, like, I guess, to watch with the roof closed. But when the roof was open and you're seeing through and you're seeing all the beams and everything like that, it was like, I don't know. I didn't like the look of it. So, but all right, I think I've said everything I was going to say at the beginning of this. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to finish this field, and then we'll get to baling and wrapping and storing everything and cleaning up the parking lot and everything. So I'll I'll check back in with you then. So. Alright, I'm just finishing up the final pass on the grass harvest here. You know what's crazy is? Oh, that's loading in. You know what's crazy is? This header here, using this to mow grass is way more satisfying than the regular mowers. But with that, I would put this up as some of the best harvesting in the game. This specific header for grass. Like, this is so satisfying to do. I would put it up there with corn. And harvesting corn is my favorite crop to harvest right now off the top of my head. I would say corn's number one. And I would put this grass harvester right up there with it. That was so enjoyable. And especially after spending the last 12 hours today doing editing, to be able to get back on the game, playing this game is all I've been thinking about all day. And getting on here and doing that was so nice. So we're gonna pull this in here. We're gonna put this down here, and then we need to look at balers and wrappers and what we want to do in terms of that. But I was also, while I was doing that, I was doing the math in my head and stuff. So when you do bales in this game, it gives you a bale counter. So obviously we'll start at 0. We'll find out how many bales we were at by the end because it'll tell us, and then we can check one of the bales to see how many liters it is. Then we can multiply those together to get our total amount. And once we have our total amount, we can check the price of silage, and we'll divide our total amount by 1,000 because it's you sell by the 1,000 liters in this game. So we'll divide that total amount by 1,000, and then we'll multiply that by how much silage is going for. Because I remember looking, and there wasn't much of a swing between bottom dollar silage and top dollar silage, so you can pretty much sell silage year round. But we'll get an estimate for roughly how much we'll make, and then we can decide if we're going to get possibly 2 or 3 harvests. We'll find out how much this grass field can make for us, and whether we decide we want to tear it up and put soybeans down if we think that's going to be more profitable. I have a feeling the silage is going to be, just because with the silage you can get multiple harvests out of it throughout the year. It's not just a one-time harvest like all the other crops. Like all the other crops, you get one harvest a year. That's it. You're done. Actually, I think sugar cane you can get 2 harvests, and poplar makes a ton of money, but I haven't gone into poplar yet and messed with that. But let's go ahead. Let's check out balers, and I would like to do a square baler, but I don't. Is there any square bale wrappers? Okay, this one will, but that one's not. I don't think that one's a toe behind. Okay, this one would do square bales. So it'll do square bales up to 220 centimeters. This one will do square up to 180, and I don't want to use those because those are for like test purposes of. And that one's a front one. Okay, so this one right here will do square bales up to 220, and what is the lease price? 3,200. Not bad at all. Okay, so that'll do 220 square bales, and this one can do up to 240 square bales. I think that's, yeah, because those are modded ones. I don't want to use those. So this one, what's the lease price on this? Ooh, 8,500, but we're gonna need to do it. So it's gonna be about 12K for the 2 of those. And then there's also, I don't think there's any here. This one's, no, it's only in the round bales. So the round bales have, yeah, here they are. These 2, yeah. And there's a modded one down here, but these 2 will do. But they only do 125 centimeter round bales. But what's the least? Let's see here. With bale and turner, sure, whatever. Standard net. Oh, I could put a silage additive tank on this to help out as well, potentially. But what's the least price on this? 6K. But we would have to stop every time for the drop, I think. When it's dropping, it's cheaper though, and it'll wrap at the same time. Yeah, so we would have to stop every time to let it drop it off. Plus, it's only 125 centimeter bales, so they're, you know, so 220, but those are square. But I just don't know. We'd only have to make one lap around the field, but it would be a much slower lap around the field. And that leaves us with a lot more bales to pick up if we use something like this. What about the John Deere one? Oh wait, yeah, both of them are 120. Both of them are the same price. Both. Oh, but this one doesn't have. Well, it looks like there's a silage additive tank right there on the front, that white tank, but it doesn't say on here. But on this one, it specifically says yes. Hmm. I think I'm man, plus it's half the price to do it this way. It's only 6K. Let me look at bale trailers. So round bale. This one can do the 125s. Uh it'll hold 24 of them and it's $2,500 to lease. This one will do the 220 squares. It only holds 14 of them though, but we're going to be doing a lot less bales. And it's 45. So everything square bale is just more expensive, but it's less work, I think. I think I'm going to go this route. Let's put it on there. Let's add the silage tank. We'll just do white bales and standard net and no plate because we're just leasing it. Okay. Yeah. Let's go that route. And then we'll need this trailer and we don't need a plate. And let's lease that. Okay. So 8,500 bucks. That means more profit for us in the end. You know what I can do? Well, I don't need a VN and I can just, oh wait, yeah, I do. I need to pull it out of the garage at least. Um, Once we figure out everything with this, I was going to put this over to grab the trailer. Once we figure out everything with the silage and what we're doing with the field, we definitely need to take some time today to clean up the yard. That doesn't should there. With this takes priority. We need to get some income. So money matters come first. Don't you run look. Okay, you rang stop sign. Yeah, I took that stop sign. Hey, that's why they keep it on them. I've got open stop signs. No, no, no. Oh God, I roll tractors so much. I don't remember it being this bad until this playthrough. I've been rolling them like constantly. Okay, leave that hooked up to there for now. That can go around and pick them up afterwards. It'd be nice if I had a decent phone, man. You know, like, oh, I forgot I'm gonna buy. Is it under here? No. Here, yes. A thing of silage additive. I don't know if it'll do anything, but I want to try. I believe I looked it up once. Um, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I thought silage additive would. Oh, this thing already spool up with silage additive. Okay, well, that's there. Well, that's future me's problem. But I think I remember seeing it what do you call it? It's supposed to add to your yield or something. So it's supposed to increase your yield. Wait a second. Brown bale nets bale wrap. Why does it say my bale wrap is empty? Do I need to go back and get bale wrap? I thought I selected um bale wrap. Yeah, I selected this one because that's the standard one, and I can see the wrap on the machine, but when I look at the thing, it looks like it's empty. Do I need to change it from round bale net to wrap? Well, we're about to find out here. Let's see here. Turn on baler. America on. Account in there. I'm not sure. And the stopping ahead, I remember was, so let's turn on lines here. It was 7.6, I believe I looked it up. The custom 7.6. Remember, hey, that's when they did one. Let me just double check. Yeah, 7.6. Cruise ventilation. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Stop picking up. Yeah, yeah. Turn up. Oh, I didn't lower the pickup. Leave it again. Oh, no, oh, oh, oh. Okay, lower pickup. Now let's see here. There we go. Okay. So let's see what happens here. And also, do we need to keep stopping? We have to wait for it. I think we have to wait for it to unload. Okay. Yep, it's got wrap. Yeah, see, that's the other thing about round bales. Square bales, you can just keep driving, but I know there's a mod that'll automatically stop you. Oh, dude. There's a mod that'll automatically stop you. I turned automatic drop on. Turn on automatic drop. Okay. I guess not. Man, I gotta get these settings. Um, Square bales will just automatically keep going because they just like shit out the end. But round bales, you have to stop every time. Okay. Don't drop that over there. And it did. Okay. Oh, that's what the turner does. It rotates it and sits it like that so they don't roll away on you. Okay, well, I'm going to have to keep an eye on this fill up so I can stop every time at 100%. Back it up a little bit. Oh, man. You know, I think the square balers, though, more expensive. If we end up doing this long term and we buy the equipment, I think the square balers is the way to go. The round balers, this is just we have to stop each time and kind of back up a little bit and everything. Okay, lift pickup. And let's loop it around. Oh, game safe. I was like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Lower pickup. Oh, I ate some of that. Yeah, because then you have to like finesse it to 100%. If you look on the bottom right where it says grass, like that's where it's picking up to make sure you like don't overshoot it. All right. And that's it. Okay. You know, while I have the chance, I might hop out and see how many liters is in one of these. So then we'll know what the price per bale is. So it's 3,500 liters. Okay. So, okay, turn baler back on. Okay, I think everything on. Let's see. Yep, it's going up. Okay. Well, I'm gonna bail up this field and we'll see how many we get. I mean, by this rate, it looks like we're gonna get a fuck ton. I've already got 5 now, and I'm still like I haven't done hardly any of this field. God, man, these things fill up quick. Alright, so I'm just getting I don't know, maybe a little over halfway done with the field. Probably more because I did that part over there. But, you know, this is creating a lot of bales. Like, I don't mind the baler and wrapper in one. Like, it's convenient. But at the same time, like, having to stop constantly, do the little backup thing or whatever every time it fills up. And it fills up so quickly because it only does 125 centimeter bales. Like, every time, see, it hits 100%, I gotta back it up a little bit so I make sure I don't miss any spots. That's really annoying. I think, I know there's a mod that will auto stop you, like auto brakes for when you hit 100% on a baler, on a round baler. I don't know if that's worth installing and trying out. But at the same time, even if it did stop me every time, that would be one of the two issues solved. But the other issue is like these tiny little bales, man. I'm telling you, like I'm at 98 bales right now, and there's a lot. I think I'm doing like 4 or 5 bales per pass. I think we might hit close to maybe 150 bales by the time we're done. I don't think it's unreasonable. 150 plus or minus. And here's the other thing. I had to grab the Lambo with the baler pickup trailer because you have to do this job with automatic drop. You just do. If you do manual drop, you're dropping well over 100 bales. Like, you have to hit the controls for that every time. That's dumb. So you have automatic drop, and it keeps dropping. Like, it always wants to drop them when I'm on a turnaround or something like that. So, like, I dropped one in the road. That's why the Lambo and the trailer's down here now. I dropped one in the middle of the road and crossed a traffic jam. I dropped a couple in the neighbor's field I had to pick up. So, like, that part's really inconvenient, you know, like, when it drops. So you have to stop and wait for it to drop before you can, like, do a turnaround in your field. So, I don't know. I think, I think the route, even though I'd have to make 2 passes, I think it would still save time and effort if we do the square bales by themselves. We can do larger ones, plus the square bales. Those, you don't have to stop to drop those. They'll just, you know, drop out the back and you can keep going on the pickup. Oh, see, I forgot. I gotta wait for it to push it out. But that, and then, you know, drive around and pick up the bales individually and wrap them with a wrapper. You know, to buy that equipment, it's gonna be more than something. See, I shot past it again. I'm talking and I'm distracted. To buy this everything for the square baling, it's gonna cost more, but I think it's gonna be worth it, especially if we're doing, you know, a lot of bales like this and stuff. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a route. This was fun to try, and it was cheaper to lease it right now while we still have, you know, limited funds. But I definitely think in the future I'm going with the square baling option and just do it separate. So I need to run over here and refill up the silage additive. I put a new front loader on the Lambo. I'm keeping it this time, not getting rid of it. See, drop. And so I was able to bring this pallet over here and have the Lambo bring the trailer back. So let's refill this. Hey, Mikey. Morning. Okay. So I'm going to get this back online, and then I want to do one other thing. The trailer's almost full with bales. So I want to find a spot to start storing all of these because we got a lot. Alright, that's parked online enough. So I think this holds 24. So I can pick up 2 more. So at 24, that's 4 trailers full at least. And if we make it, it might be another 2 more for 6 trailers. Okay, so where? It's going to be too tall to fit in there. You know, I think this is going to be a good spot temporarily. But that's the other thing. we can reload these to take them to sell them. Ooh, turn. I think I might have to get a different type of auto-loading trailer. One that, because if not, like, we had to sit there and have this thing re-pick all these up. Okay, so I need to go to unload bales. Ooh. How does this unload them? Unload bales here? Oh, because I've never used this one. I've used the square baling trailer before. I just pull forward and let it poop out. Yeah, it seems to be effective. Okay. Okay, well, we'd have to either leave enough space and drive up and have this thing reload all of those onto the sell thing to take it to wherever we sell them, which, oh my god, man, that would take forever, especially if we're gonna have like 6, potentially 7 trailers full, or even more. I don't know at this point. Let me look at some other auto-loading trailer options. I know there's one specifically, some modded one, but it would make things super quick. This one, it doesn't tell me how many specific bales it'll have, but auto-loading bales, and I don't really care about much of that stuff. I don't need the ramps or nothing, but this one you just pull up next to and it'll auto-load them. So I think, and it's 25,000, so it's half the price of the one we're currently using. I wanted to use the in-game ones, but that modded one, I think I'm going to use this for the rest of today to move all these marshmallows over here. But when it comes to loading those up to take them to the sell point, because I don't even know where we're going to end up selling them to, it would be, let me get the silage. It's way down here. Okay, silage. So, animal dealer takes them. The biogas plant takes them. But I wonder if they would take them in bales. Okay, so animal dealership looks like would probably be the move. Let's turn this back on. Lower the pickup. So, I don't know. We'll have to see where we end up having to take them. But I was doing some rough calculations, and I looked and saw these round bales hold 3,500 liters. So, oh wait, what price did I do? I think it was $350 a bale. If we had 100 bales, I think the math came out, we'd make like 105K. At like $350, 1,000 liters for silage. But based on looks of this, we're gonna make more than that. So I think we're gonna make closer to 150,000. But I don't remember what price I did it at. I think I looked and did. Oh, see, it's full again, man. Fuck. I'm so sick of this shit. How much were the bales? So 367 at price, 374 for those. I'm gonna take a quick second. I want to look this up again. Holy shit! So based on my math here, if we end up with 150 bales, which there's potential we have more than that, but it'll be close to that. We're at 106 now. But 150 bales, at the peak price on there at $374, right? At that price, we'll make $196,350 on these bales if we hit the 150 bale mark. But the thing is, you can get multiple harvests. That's enough to almost cover what the soybeans would make on this field, roughly. I could be off on that too. It's just, rough guessing. You don't know until you really harvest and yield and all that. But I think that means grass is the way to go for the future, at least with this field for now. I don't want to do it on every field. This is a lot of work. But while we need the quick money, if we can make 200K off of all these bales, and we can do that 2, potentially 3 times in a year, I still don't know that either. How many times we'll be able to reharvest in 1 year? But if we can get 3 harvests out of this, holy 600K off this field for 1 calendar year, shit. That's going to be incredible. Even if we can get 2, that's still 400K. Oh, God damn it. I did it again. Alright, I'm getting distracted. I'm going to get back to this, and then I'll catch you afterwards. Okay, so I just finished all the baling. Look at all of our marshmallows. We ended up with... Let me check this. 157. So we're going to make over... What is that beeping? I've got to figure out what that beeping is. Look, it's still beeping. Baler's turned off. Oh, that's what it is. It's the low fuel beep. We need gas in the Voltra. But we ended up with 157 bales, which means we're going to make over 200K from all these bales in the next month or 2 as soon as they're done fermenting. If we look up at it, we can see under bale, the middle category on the bottom right, you'll see fermenting 6%. So, it looks like we're going to need at least 1, maybe 2 months to let these ferment, and then we can sell them. We can make over 200K from this, and we still have 1, potentially 2 more harvests this year with this. So we're going to stick with grass here on this field. We're definitely going to change it up, though, to larger square bales, and we'll just bale them separately, and we'll try a different auto bale loader and stuff. But there's, now that I know the count, I can go ahead and go here to vehicles, and we can return this. We don't need this anymore. And then I need to go put gas in the Voltra so it'll stop beeping at me. I was wondering what that beeping was. I forgot it's because gas. And I need to put that into storage. I still want to do a little bit of beautification around here, but I might leave that till the next episode. Right now, it's definitely gas, and then collecting all the bales. Or diesel, whatever you want to say, but I gotta fill up. This is convenient, having the gas station right here. So let's fill this up. Oh my god. You know, I put that beeping because I kept forgetting to fill up my tractors until, like, it was almost too late. I've never ran out of gas though, but man, that beeping something else. I could not figure out what it was, though. I could hear this beeping, and I thought it was just like the baler getting full and needing to drop the next bale. And it turns out we needed some diesel. Okay. Oh, there's one other thing I need to check. Okay, so the Vulture is paid off. I wasn't sure if I had 1 more month of payments left on this or not, but if this is paid off, that means everything else is paid off, which means we don't have any payments coming out next month, because I was concerned about having enough money for those payments and stuff, but it looks like I finished everything off last month. I don't know if I mentioned it. I know I mentioned it, but I don't know if it was still in the video or if it was in one of the corrupted files, but I did. I'll pull it up here in a second. Let's go to statistics. So if you look here, we're at 107 contracts. There hasn't been any good ones so far today. I keep peeking at it. But I did collect the rest of the collectibles. When I was done collecting all the ones I knew of where they were, I was at like 22, I think. So there's only 3 missing, and my OCD wouldn't let me leave those 3 missing that I didn't know where they were or couldn't remember. So I looked them up, but we collected all the collectibles. But that means we got the 250,000 from those because they're 10,000 a piece. We used that to pretty much pay off the Voltra exclusively. But the other thing was I we don't have any fallback if something like an emergency comes up again. So I really have to pay attention to my spending. But I'm gonna go around and collect all these up, put them over there, and then we'll keep looking at contracts to see if anything pops up this month. But oh, I need to roll the field. Does it tell me it needs rolling? It doesn't. But from my understanding, after you mow the field, you're supposed to roll it. And I think you need to use a grassland care. Yeah, you have to use one of these. Grass rollers and weeders improve yield of your grass fields. This one's 12 and 11 miles an hour. This one would be nice, but especially with the size of our field. But how much is the renting cost? Okay, it's only 2,500 or 6,500 to rent. We have enough for that. I thought it was going to be more to rent this. How much is this one to rent? See, this one's only like 1,700 to rent. And 12 meters is fine, you know. It's a few extra passes, but it's easier to maneuver. Like, I think 12 most of the time, 12 meters, like, is kind of like the perfect width for a lot of fields, especially if you get one that's got good speed. You know, if you find something that's 12 meters and it's only like 6 miles an hour, it's like, no. But if the implement you're trying to use is like 12 meters and, you know, like 9 or more miles an hour, then it's like, okay, yeah, I can work with this. That's going to be fast. You know, like the mower we use to cut the grass here, it's only 7.6, which is on the smaller side of what I would like to use, especially for a field this big. But it does 14 miles an hour, so that's higher than normal. Like, I think 9 to 12 is kind of, you know, the higher end for a lot of stuff. Anything under that kind of like 7 or 8, though, you're getting too slow, and it's kind of annoying. The only thing is, like, combines, their headers only do 6 miles an hour, like, regardless of the size. That's why some of those combine headers are like 24, you know. I think they're like 24. I don't know. There's some massive combine headers. Speaking of combine headers, there was a new mod recently that I added. I haven't had a chance to use it or whatever, but I thought it was really, it was going to be helpful for us. It's a shelving unit where you can store your combine headers. So I was thinking about putting it like outside the garage. There's some spots or whatever where I could put that shelving unit down, and then you can just pull up to it. You can put your grain header. I can store that mower / windrower swather thing we have. I can store that on it, and you can store the grain header, corn header, whatever you want. So you can store the headers, which means you can put your combine. Oh, whoops, we're full. You can put your combine in a smaller doored garage. Like, up until this point, I've always used that garage because it's wide, and I can, you know, leave the header on when I park it, instead of taking the header off, putting it on a trailer, or leaving it outside. But if we get that shelving unit, then that would be nice. Okay, I don't know which trailer I'm going to end up using in the future. I think I wanted to try that other one that I saw. Unload bales. Let's back this up. And unload here. See if we can back this up a little bit more. Back it up. Back it up. Okay. And then slowly pull forward. Alright. There we go. Well, that didn't work out like a plan. Lower this back up. Okay. Well, with 57, that means we're going to have, like 7 trailers full? Well, 6 full ones and 1 potentially partial full. Holy shit. Well, it is what it is. Oh. Operating position. But I'm gonna drive around, finish collecting these up, and getting those over there. We are gonna have a lot of bales. See, that's another thing. Um, the square baler. What's kind of cool about the square bales is not only are the square bales bigger, so we'll have less of them to store, but the trailer, like this version, the square baler version of this trailer that automatically picks them up with the arm, when you unload them, the trailer tips straight up and it leaves you like two vertical stacks. It doesn't lay them down on the ground like this one does, so it takes up a lot less room to store them. Um, I don't. There's also the option of finding. There's some sheds and barns that do bale storage, where you just drop it into a dump point and then you can unload them, or it'll automatically like load them and stack them in the shed for you. And then when you need to pull them out to move them, you can just go into the menu setting and of the storage shed, and it'll dump out however many you need. If we're gonna stick to doing this long term, I definitely want to look into bale storage option. We can still put it right where we're putting those. We can put the storage shed there. There's plenty of space there. It would just be nicer than just like right now. That's gonna look like a mess having all of these bales right there, and I just think there's better options for some of this stuff. Yeah, right now it's just kind of fly by the seat of our pants. We're learning new stuff. This is things that I haven't worked myself previously, so still kind of learning a few things. What equipment's best? I've used a lot of this equipment for like different jobs, like contracts, but I've never put all the pieces together myself to find out what's the best, what to do, and everything. So it's enjoyable. I like it. So let's look at all the marshmallows. Alright, well, all those are done, so we can go down back to here. Vehicles, let's find that trailer, go return that, and there we go, all of our bales. They're all sitting there. They're going to take some time to ferment, 9%, 11%. I'm hoping they're done by next month so we can start getting some money coming in, but it may take 2 months to get them all up to 100%. Let's check out. So here's what we got in stock. So yeah, it's because right now it still claims it as grass. It's not silage yet. The lettuce is going in the background. That's their pallet of silage item. And then the soybeans, they're starting to get up there. I think June is the prime month for them. They were 94, 134 peak. It's April, so we're not far off. We're only like 2 months off for the soybeans. Next month they might even be close enough for us to sell, which would be amazing. And then, so I think I'm going to end this one off here, and then next time we're going to clean up. I wanted to get to it, but obviously I feel it was more important, but we're going to clean up the farm a little bit, the ground and everything, get it looking a little bit nicer. I may or may not find a more suitable garage for us, and potentially a better garage for over there where the combine is. I'm not sure yet. And then look at garages for storage for the bales, Since we're going to leave this field as grass and we're going to be doing a lot of silage, we're going to need a proper garage for that. And then we'll see. We'll see what's after that. So until next time.